Hello everyone, Chicken here. This video will be part 1 of 3 for explaining all the items in HOK. First, I will go over the physical items, part 2 will be magical, and part 3 will be defense. I'll also go over movement and jungling in every single one because they don't deserve their own video. I'll do that towards the end. But basically I'll be explaining the items, what they do, and I'll also compare them to Mobile Legends items so it helps people who are transferring over and people who are new to the game. First off, Axe of Torment. There isn't really an ML item that's exactly like this, but think of it more similar to War Axe for fighters. Instead of the time passive though, you just get flat out physical pierce, which is good for bursting squishies. You get your cooldown reduction, you get max health, and you get physical damage. You just don't have the spell vamp that War Axe gives, but this is a very big staple for every single fighter and every single assassin. Typically a first item on any fighter that does burst damage and assassin. Eternity Blade. This is basically Berserker Fury. We'll think of it like the same use. It's not exactly the same, but the more critical rate you have, you get additional crit damage, and you also get an additional flat 20% crit damage. Shadow Ripper. It's like the old Scarlet Phantom item, where you would get bonus attack speed after you crit. Basically, it has Claw's passive, except no lifesteal. It's a pretty good staple item for marksmen, and some people, like fighters, also build it for some that have, fast attack speed and things. Hello, I forgot to include Doomsday, but Doomsday is essentially literally the same exact item as DHS. Treat it the same way as DHS. High attack speed fighters and marksmen both use it, and it's just overall a great item versus super tanky comps. But if they're not tanky, you usually just build Sparkforged Dagger or other attack speed items. Sparkforged Dagger. Basically Windtalker without crit chance. Very good for high attack speed fighters. Also used on some marksmen, although it doesn't give crit. If there are heroes that do a lot of auto attacks, they typically will buy this item. Blood Weeper. Mostly a marksman item. Not really many fighters or assassins build it. It has a rose gold like passive, but instead you get HP back instead of a shield. Gives you a bunch of lifesteal, HP, and physical attack. As for building this, again, keep it to probably marksman. I don't know what fighters would build this. Daybreaker. This is basically Malefic Gun for marksman. You get more physical pierce, crit chance, attack speed, physical attack, and then double bonus passives for ranged heroes. Essentially, only built on a marksman. Destiny. This is a unique item to HOK. There's nothing really relative in ML to it. It has a unique passive where once you're at 1 HP, you will stay at 1 HP and be invincible for 1 second. And you can move around, so it's not like a Winter Crown. And it's 0.5 seconds for ranged heroes. You can actually item swap this with Sanctuary something, which is the immortality in this game. So you can buy Sage Sanctuary, I believe is what it's called, have the passive trigger, like you would in Immo, sell that, buy Destiny, like how you would buy Winter Crown. But instead of, you can actually move around for 1 second. And then if you're really sweating, you can actually buy the Winter Crown in this game, which is a magic item, but that's like way too much. Master Sword. Similar to Endless Battle, you get bonus damage and move speed after you cast a skill, except it's much more physical damage, no true damage, and it's more of an assassin item, because it gives you just pure burst. Some marksmen do build this, but I only really know for fighters that Dharma builds it. Starbreaker. This is Malefic Roar, essentially, so the Malefic Gun, Malefic Roar, this is for the fighters and assassins, physical pierce, which is like the armor penetration in this game. Siege Breaker. This is a unique item to HOK. It has a unique passive where you deal an extra 30% damage to enemies with below 50% HP. A very big staple assassin item, and even some fighters build with this item. Dreamforged Tempest. Before we move on, actually, Siege Breaker, not typically an item you rush. It's typically an item you get after Axe of Torment, or after Axe of Torment and then Pure Sky. We'll go over Pure Sky in a moment. Dreamforged Tempest. Not only an item similar to this in ML, it's an active item. There's a lot of active items in HOK, I'm sure you've noticed. But this one will give you bonus attack speed boost when you activate it, and it gives you more physical pierce the more auto attacks you do. Dreamforged Sky Piercer. This is a kind of a niche item. It knocks them back if you activate it, or like you make your next auto attack and knock an enemy back. I don't know if people build this. It's probably a niche item as well. I don't see it too much. Deep Frost Siege. This is basically Ice Queen Wand, but for auto attacks. So you can, I don't know what marksmen build this. It's probably a unique item where you build it if you think the situation is good for it. Gives you HP, attack speed, a very sustaining item, and basically helps for kiting and surviving. Moral Punisher, the Sea Halberd of this game, where it's physical anti-healing. Yeah, build in a marksman, build in a fighter, build in any physical damage for anti-heal. Demon's Bane, a unique item to HOK. There's no item like this in ML, and actually I really wish they did have an item like this in ML because they had it in League. But this is essentially a damage item that gives you magic resist, and the more damage you have, the more magic resist you get. So great versatility if you want to have some extra damage, you don't want to build a full magic resist item, and you want to have the best of both worlds. Perfect item right here, Demon's Bane. Fantastic item. I love this item. Pure Sky, a unique item to HOK. Also another active item. When you activate it, you get 35% damage reduction, and you also have a unique skill passive. Or I'm sorry, it's not even, I don't know why I said skill passive. Unique passive, where your first skill hit will slow the first enemy hero, and reduce the damage taken from them. And it has a cooldown of 8 seconds, and it lasts for 3 seconds. Sun Pool increases your basic attack range, basically. I don't know what marksmans build this. You probably see recommended builds. I play mostly fighter, so I can't really say much about it. Sun Pool is the upgraded form of Sun Chaser, and Sky Dome is the upgraded form of Pure Sky. The Sky Dome upgrade, I know, gives you more damage reduction, and it also gives you the ability to walk through walls for some reason. So you'll be able to walk through walls. It's also a Purify, and it gives you more damage reduction, so it's very insane. Keep in mind, you can only get your upgraded active items at the 20-minute mark. That is when the Tempest spawns. It only lets you upgrade it then. It will not show in the recommended build, so you have to make a mental note. Once it hits 20 minutes and that Tempest spawns, you buy this item. Now moving on to the boots. You have your Warrior boots right here, Boots of Fortitude. You have your Tough boots right here, Boots of Resistance. You have your Magic shoes right here, Boots of Tranquility. But in this game, it gives you I think it gives you 30%. I'm not sure if that passive, like, I think this gives 30%, unless for whatever reason it says the shortens the cooldown on common skill to 50%. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so this does give you 30% cooldown reduction to your first 2 skills, not your ultimate. Your ultimate will only apply the 15% cooldown reduction. That's what it means. So this actually is insane for a lot of fighters and assassins early game. And if you didn't know, in this game, you can swap your boots for free every 5 minutes, I believe. So you can literally just, 0 cost, change your boots to something else. I wish that was a thing in ML, because that's so neat. Boots of Arcane, you know, your Arcane shoes, the penetration boots. Swift shoes right here, Swift boots, Boots of Dexterity, and then Rapid boots right here. And then you have your jungle items. It's basically reminiscent of old ML. You have your magic jungle item, physical jungle item, and your tanky jungle item. And then roaming, it's more like similar to League, I believe, where you can upgrade your roam item into whichever one you want. And they also have bigger upgrades. Or no, they don't. Alright, anywho. Hope you all enjoyed. This is part 1 of 3 again. Watch the next 2 if you want to understand mage items and defense items. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching. Like and sub, and goodbye.